What's up everyone? Let me move this way so you can see the ocean behind me. If we're lucky, you might get to see some whales breaching in the background. Hopefully you can all hear me properly. It's a little bit windy today. Get the ocean a bit more. Let's come up here. Alright. Now, we might be able to get the ocean in there a bit more. That's about that. Okay, we've got the ocean there in the background. Welcome to the live, everyone. We're going to do a little Q&A, so feel free to ask me any questions that you want in the comments below. It can be anything about photography, wildlife, editing, social media, anything like that. Let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you guys. Going to have a little bit of a chat here. We'll just do a little Q&A whilst hopefully there'll be some whales breaching in the background as well. That'll be epic. Currently in Mozambique on a wildlife expedition. So let me know in the comments below what kind of questions you guys have and where you're tuning in from as well. Let me know where you're watching this live from. Had a few whales earlier today actually. We actually got a mum and a calf with some males trying to mate in there as well. It was a little bit brutal to watch, but really cool epic drone footage that we got of that. Hey Courtney. Ah, super. From Indonesia. Is it? It must be super late over there, no? Time difference must be crazy. Yeah, if you got loads of questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Crazy, you're watching in from Indonesia. Welcome in everyone. Let me know where you're watching in from, and if you got any questions, let me know in the comments. That's what this live, this Q&A is going to be all about. Hopefully we get some whales behind us as well. That'd be cool if we see it in the live. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. I'm working on a load of little tutorials and YouTube videos from here in Mozambique as well. Was filming a couple of them earlier today, so make sure you're subscribed to be in tune for all of those when I release them. Any whales back there? Must be freaking epic if a whale breached back here. What's up everyone? Welcome to the live. Let me know below if you've got any comments and where you're watching in from. All right, Courtney, 10 p.m. Oh, it's getting late down there. Super late actually. Well, hopefully we're not going to be on for too long and keep you up past your bedtime. Upgraded a few months back to sea frogs. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. What camera are you shooting on with the sea frogs? I feel like there's not enough cool things here. Mainly turtles. Turtles are plenty cool as it is. I know accounts that post only turtles and make crazy content with just turtles. There's an account that I've seen in Japan and all they do is turtles. There's always something that you can do. So maybe go out and try and find something a little bit different with the turtles. Like turtles sleeping always do really well. And if you're in Indonesia, I'm sure there's loads of other things as well. What part of Indonesia are you in? And are you diving or are you mainly free diving? But with turtles, there's loads of cool things you can do with turtles. Sleeping turtles would definitely be a good one. Feeding turtles as well is always a really good one. If you've got hawksbills or greens, like from my experience, hawksbills are always really chill when they're feeding. So you can get like pretty close to them and you can get some interesting footage, different angles of them, something like that. What's up? Welcome everyone that's new. Let me know where you're watching in from, and if you've got any questions, wildlife, photography, social media, editing, anything like that, let me know below and I'll get back to you and try and answer all of the questions during this live. I'm currently in Mozambique and I'm hoping a whale will either appear or breach somewhere here behind us as well. Based in the Gili Islands. Oh, sweet. Okay. Lots of hawksbills and greens. Yeah, for sure. If you've got hawksbills in there, try and get them feeding greens as well. Split shots can be really cool as well. So if they're coming up for a breath, obviously make sure you're not getting too close to disturb them whilst they're breathing. But getting a split shot whilst they're breathing, coming up to the surface, that can be really cool as well. Lots of different things. If you've got a really clear day as well, top downs with the water rippling on their backs, that can be really good. Really, especially if you can slow mo it as well, that can be a really cool shot. But I'm sure if you're working in the gillies, you've got lots of stuff, cool stuff. Maybe macro. What camera are you shooting on, and what lens are you using as well? Macro stuff can be really cool in Indonesia. I really want to get back out there and do some macro of like the octopuses and stuff out there as well. Okay. What's up, everyone new that is joining? Let me know where you're joining in from, and if you've got any questions about wildlife photography, wildlife in general, anything like that, let me know, and I'm going to get back to all of them during this live, whilst hopefully we wait for some whales to appear in the background here. All right, 16 to 35. A73. Okay, cool. He used to love shooter. Yeah, to be fair, 16 to 35 with turtles and stuff like that, that's probably really cool. Definitely at 16, you can get some cool split shots with that. And what did you say earlier? Grow socials. Yeah, you just got to keep consistent on it. To be honest, I would definitely say try and push across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the same time. Instagram is like what a lot of people kind of concentrate on, but I feel like it's kind of difficult, a little bit hit and miss with the algorithm on there growing at the moment. Whereas TikTok and YouTube are really good, and you can really build a nice community on there as well. TikTok definitely, if you're working, I think you said you're working as like a dive. You're working at a dive shop, right? Especially if you're taking people out and you're working as a dive instructor, it's really good for behind the scenes stuff. So you can do like a day in the life of you as a dive instructor, or a day in the life of you going out diving in the Gili Islands, basically taking people along with you, super raw and rustic. Literally just film a load of clips whilst you're going out and then do a voiceover afterwards. And that's a really good, engaging way of building a community. And then on YouTube, you can kind of repurpose the content. So stuff that you're posting on Instagram and on TikTok, just repurpose it and post it on YouTube. In terms of YouTube Shorts, that's a really good way to grow. And then if you fancy doing longer form horizontal vlogs as well on YouTube, that's a really good way as well. I'm trying to do more of that now on YouTube myself. So I've been doing vlogs for a long time, but starting to do more interactive things like this, Q&As, and tutorials and things like that. That's a really good way to grow on YouTube. But definitely, if you're starting off, try with Instagram and on TikTok as well. What's up, everyone new joining? Let me know in the comments where you're watching in from, where you're watching this live from. I'm currently in Mozambique, hoping there's going to be a whale that pops up back here. But let me know if you've got any questions to do with wildlife photography, photography in general, editing, social media, any of that. No worries, Courtney. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know if you've got any comments, but also if you get them over the next few weeks or whatever it is, you can always DM me on Instagram as well. I'm happy to help out. And yeah, definitely tag me if you've got any cool stuff with turtles that you get in the next few weeks or anything like that. Tag me, that'd be cool. I've never actually been out to the Gili Islands, but it is on my list. I need to spend a bit more time in Indonesia next year, fingers crossed. So much to go and explore out there, both on land and underwater as well. Okay. If you've got any questions, guys, let me know in the comments. They'll pop up on the screen and I'll be able to get back to you. This is only like the second or third time I'm doing a live, so I'm still getting used to it myself, so bear with me. Do we have any whale activity back here? Had some really big groups of whales pass by earlier today, which was crazy. Blue marlin, gilly air. Oh, sweet. Okay, I'll definitely bear that in mind. I'll make a note of that for the next time I'm in Indo, and hopefully I pass through gilly. What's my favourite animal to shoot? That's a really difficult question. And honestly, I think I'd give you a different answer depending on what day it is. But that's a really good. To be fair, whales, any type of whale. I spent some time with sperm whales, which was really, really special. They're definitely up there, just because of like how big and beautiful they are, but also the interactions you can get with them. And it's a little bit more difficult when they start to dive, and you have to free dive with them. But you can get some really crazy interactions, and in the crystal clear blue waters with them as well, you can get really kind of creative with the kinds of shots that you can do. So I'd probably say whales in general, but for me, sperm whales was just out of this world. Yeah, something completely out of this world. We've got some really cool shots with them. One where it's going vertical with me and like clicking at me, and you can literally feel like the clicks reverberate your body. It's just mad. And even though they don't have really big eyes, you can see their eye as it like focuses on you, and interactions with babies is just mad. Sperm whales has probably been the top encounter, if not top 3 encounters that I've ever had with animals in the wild. Absolutely, absolutely amazing animals. They were a top 3 species or top 5 species for me that I've always wanted to be in the water with, along with like white sharks and things like that. And so being able to tick them off the list and actually spend time with them in the water was absolutely crazy. Oh, there actually is a whale just over there. You can, well, I just saw the exhale. I don't know if I can zoom in. Can I zoom in on this? Oh, shoot, yeah, you can. Okay, so maybe, can we see in the back there? There's a whale that is breaching, and then there's one that's exhaling right there. Can we zoom in any further? Right, let's see. Quality's not the best, but there's a whale out there that's exhaling. You can see the puffs of air coming out. Let's see if it goes again. There's one actually breaching further back as well, but I don't think the camera will pick that up. Yeah, there you go. It just exhaled again. So maybe I need to move the camera this way. There you go. That little puff of air there, that was a whale. Humpback exhaling out there. Let's zoom back in. The zoom on the front camera on this isn't great, but we've got some whales out there. Hopefully we'll get a few more coming a little bit closer as well. Okay. What's up, everyone? Welcome in, welcome in. If you've got questions about wildlife photography, editing, social media, anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to do a little bit longer on this live, just as we've still got the sun coming in, and hopefully we get some of these whales to come a bit closer as well. There is a few of them there. There's one that's consistently breaching, but it's quite far in the back there. Let me know where you're watching in from, and where you guys found this channel from. Are you coming from my Instagram, or are you coming from my YouTube? Let me know in the comments below. else can we do here? Okay. Who else do we have in here? Who's watching? Let me know where you're watching in from. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. It's a Q&A. You can ask me anything you want. Wildlife photography, wildlife, social media, editing. If you're interested in underwater color grading, any tips and tricks, feel free. Let me know in the comments below and I'll answer it when it pops up on screen. Whilst we're looking for whales in the background here. Welcome in, everyone that's new. Welcome in. Let me know where you're watching in from. There's whales over there now, actually. Let me see if we can zoom in on it. Just saw a puff where one of them exhaled. Let's see if we can find it. Might need a different, better camera for this. I'm actually going to go live again from the paddle boards, hopefully in the next few days. It's been a bit too windy to get out on the paddle boards, but I'm hoping in the next couple of days we can get back out on the paddle boards and try and get some encounters with the humpbacks on the paddle boards as well. But there's a couple of blows out there. So there's a couple of whales out there exhaling at the moment. So hopefully in the next couple of days it gets a little bit busier. The weather gets a bit better as well and we can get out on the water with these whales. I'm also thinking about going and doing a live with some monkeys over the weekend as well. So let me know either here in the comments or over on my Instagram if you want me to go and do a live photography live with some monkeys as well. So I'll have you guys next to me as we try and photograph there's some vervet monkeys. So usually we can find them kind of grazing on tomatoes and things like that. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, or let me know where you're watching in from as well. With social media, would you say it's best to stick with photography only or a mix with personal and other diving stuff? To be honest, it's up to you. Are you mainly a photographer or do you like doing a mix of photography and videography? Me personally, I like doing a mix. I like taking videos as well as photos, so I kind of share both of them. And to be honest, TikTok is more kind of video focused, I guess, at the moment. There is ways to incorporate photography into it, but it would be kind of cool. I guess it depends what kind of creator do you want to be. Do you want to be more of like an overall dive creator, in which case it could be kind of cool to showcase your day-to-day life. I'm sure if you're working in a dive shop, it involves a lot of kind of cleaning kit and kind of doing the logistics and people's courses, that kind of thing. So you could do a whole, this is me as a dive instructor working in a dive shop kind of thing. So taking people out diving as well as doing all the courses and what people will probably find, what you might find boring stuff of all the admin and that, but it could be really interesting for people to see that side of being a dive instructor, and potentially if they're thinking about being a dive instructor, that's cool insight for them. Or if you just want to keep it strictly photography, high class kind of photos and videos of wildlife, you can go off and do that, make your account just that. It really depends on how much of your personal life you kind of want to share on it. Me personally, nowadays, I don't share so much on my personal side. On my main Instagram account, I have a separate Instagram for that and kind of my travel and behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. And then I keep my main Instagram kind of more professional, kind of high quality stuff. I do put some behind the scenes on there as well, but I don't share so much of my personal life on there. So it really comes down to a personal preference on what kind of way you want to go down it. On TikTok, I would definitely say that showcasing kind of behind the scenes does really well. People really want to see what goes into creating content and what goes into like your daily life. So like I said before, a day in the life type stuff does really well over on TikTok. To an extent on Instagram as well, but mainly on TikTok, that does really well. So you might want to think about incorporating that into your TikTok if you're going to go off and make a TikTok. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever that was. Welcome everyone to the live. Hello. Some local kids saying hi. Welcome into the live. Let me know where you're watching in from, and if you've got any questions about wildlife, photography, editing, social media, let me know, and I'm going to get back to everyone. Probably stay on for like another 20 minutes or so, whilst we still have the light. It's going down at the moment. Kids are watching me from a distance. The kids. And hopefully we get some more whales. That group of whales there is still there. If we had the drone, we could put it up. Also, let me know if you want more lives like this and what kind of lives you'd be interested in seeing. This is more of a Q&A, but if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff, maybe I'll just pop you down on a tripod whilst I'm out in the field taking photos, or maybe we could try and do a live editing session somehow. Let me know in the comments, or feel free to DM me over on Instagram as well. Yeah, there's definitely two pods of whales out there. One a little bit further out, one a bit closer. All my drone batteries are currently charging, so I can't put the drone out. I used 3 batteries earlier today filming a mum and a baby getting harassed by about 5 male humpback whales. Crazy footage, a little bit difficult to watch that harassment behavior, but crazy footage. All we need is a breach, a little breach there that the camera could catch. Welcome everyone that's new to the channel. Welcome everyone that's new to the live. Let me know where you're watching in from. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos. I'm filming a load of them whilst I'm out here, so stay tuned for those. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notification on as well. Then you'll get notified every time I go live. I really want to do more lives like this. How am I using the DJI microphone? So I'm using the DJI, the second version, I think, the Mark II. And it came with a couple of attachments. So it came with a lightning attachment, which is what my phone uses, and a USB-C attachment as well. That's what I really like about this mic, as opposed to, I also have the Rode, the Wireless Go 2s. That's what I was using for the longest, but there wasn't really a way to connect it straight into my phone. And for content like this, or for voiceovers on the go, I really needed a mic. And so on Amazon Prime Day, whilst it was on offer, I bought the new DJI mic. So it comes with the plugins. You plug it straight into your phone. I can plug it straight into my laptop, into my computer. So it's really easy for doing voiceovers when I'm on the go as well. It also can record internally as well. Great failsafe, which the other mics that I had couldn't do. Overall, I'm really pleased with these ones. They have like a magnet as well, so a lot of the time I'll put the magnet on the inside, so you get very minimal. You don't have to see the mic like this. Super, super handy mics, honestly. They turn on immediately. The case charges itself as well. Would highly recommend them if you're looking for a set of mics. I'd definitely go for these ones. I would highly recommend them. They're probably the best ones I've used so far. It was between these and the Hollyland ones, which I don't know if you've seen. It's like a tiny button kind of mic, but I think for professional work, this is better as well. So it's a good combo between social stuff like this and then using it for professional stuff like interviews and things like that. Really good mic quality. I can't hear it myself, but hopefully you can hear it. It's fairly windy, and I'm hoping it's not picking up a lot of that wind. Welcome everyone that's new to the live. Let me know where you're watching in from, and if you've got any questions for me about wildlife photography, photography in general, editing, social media, let me know in the comments below. If you don't mind, drop the video like a like or something like that. I think it pushes the channel a bit more. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube channel more this year and get it out to more people, creating way more content on YouTube. I really want to push YouTube a little bit more this year. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this, and turn your notifications on so you get notified when I do live videos like this. I'm going to try and do some more live paddleboarding with the whales. And next week, when I've got my wildlife expedition here, I've got some people coming. We're going to go on ocean safaris as well on the boat to try and find whales. I'll try and do some lives from that as well. We're also going to do some cool things like go looking for seahorses. So lots more content coming up in the next couple of weeks here in Mozambique. Oh, what? Sweet. Glad you can't hear the wind, but it didn't come with the thing. Did yours not come with like the charging box? Yeah. Did yours not come with the charging box? Mine came with like the two of these mics, the receiver, and then the charging box. And inside the charging box was a USB-C adapter and a Lightning port adapter as well, which is what I'm using on this. I think there might be different different, I don't know how to describe it, like levels of the mics, but I thought they all came with the attachments. If not, you might be able to buy them separately as well, um, which I definitely recommend if you're going to do content like for TikTok, Instagram, and stuff like that, socials off your phone. I definitely recommend getting the little attachments for this because it just makes it so much easier. Welcome everyone new that's watching. Let me know where you're watching in from. And if you've got any questions about wildlife photography or editing, filmmaking, anything like that, let me know in the comments. And I'll get back to you all. We're starting to lose the light, so we've got maybe 10 minutes left that I can do this live for. But I want to do more of these in the future. Let me know if you want to see more of these and what you want me to talk about in these lives in the future as well. Still looking for whales breaching out there. It's not as windy today. Whales tend to breach more when it's windy. Welcome in, welcome in. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you've got any questions about wildlife filmmaking, wildlife photography, editing, camera gear, even social media, anything like that, let me know and I'll get back to you guys in the next 10 minutes of this live. Oh yeah, there's a whale right there, right behind me. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Is right there. Let's see if it exhales again. Come on, Mr. Whale. We're actually around here, it's probably Mrs. Whale. Yeah, right there. You see the white there, there. Whale exhaling. And a little zipper case and a charging cable. Okay, so maybe you got like the. Did you get just a mic? You got just the one mic. So maybe you got like the version down because it only came with one mic. Definitely look into it and see if you can buy the attachment points separately because it will definitely be worth it. This is such a good mic for stuff like this. And who inspires you the most in wildlife photography? Made you get into the field? That is a really good question. Growing up, I always watched Steve Irwin. That's kind of like a cliche, I guess, but growing up, that was it. Wasn't necessarily a wildlife photographer, but it was involved in wildlife and was in the field, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. In terms of wildlife photography, that's a really good question. I'm not sure if I have like a hero or someone that I really look up to. There's loads of great photographers that I enjoy their work, and I definitely think like I really want to be at that level. And in terms of creating quality images and videos and storytelling, really is what I'm really kind of passionate about, I guess. So one of my friends, Matt Porteous, he created Ocean Culture Live. He's someone that is an incredible storyteller and someone that I really look to for inspiration. There's amazing Ami Vitale. I hope I said that right. She's a really good photographer, storyteller as well. She's taken pictures of the northern white rhinos, done some incredible stories over there with them as well. And I was lucky enough to go meet those rhinos at one point. So I try to use her shots as kind of inspiration and give me ideas for different angles that I can shoot. Who else is out there? Incredible photographers. Honestly, my entire Instagram, like everyone I follow on there, is probably someone that gives me inspiration and that I look up to as like crazy good photographers and storytellers. There's so many out there, but it's really difficult when I'm on the spot like this to tell you just a couple. But yeah, definitely Ami Vitale, Matt Porteous. There's loads of them out there, and honestly, because of social media, every single day I'm finding more and more incredible photographers and filmmakers out there that I'm finding inspiration from, and also finding different locations to film wildlife, crazy species that I've never heard of them being found in these locations. But really good question, actually. Um, who do you kind of draw the most inspiration from? Who do you really look to that you think they're a crazy good photographer or filmmaker even? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live. Let me know where you're watching in from. And if you've got any questions about wildlife filmmaking, photography, underwater stuff, kit reviews, anything like that, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Got a little bit longer on this live before we lose the light here in Mozambique. Look at that, it just looks, if I flip the camera here, look at that lighting, beautiful lighting going on here. This is the resort that we're staying at. It's basically just huts on the dune. This is where we're staying, and it's literally that far away from the ocean. Can walk to the ocean every single day over these dunes, and we've got whales over there every single day as well. Really lucky to be out here. Hey guys, you coming back from fisheries? How was it? Nothing? No fishermen? No data is still data. Some students coming back from the charity here, conducting research. Spent the whole day over at the fisheries down there. No data is still data. We'll go for a little bit longer while we still got the light here. So if anyone's got any last minute questions or wants to know anything, let me know in the comments below whilst this live is still running. We're going to do a few more of these. Ah, sweet. Yeah, you'll love their work. Honestly, Matt does a lot of good stuff. He is also the royal photographer, so he shot for the royal family in the UK. He's also a crazy good underwater photographer as well. Um, we spent quite a lot of time together, but we've never actually been in the water together. It's on the list. We need to get a dive trip in soon. And Ami Vitali, she's a Nat Geo photographer. Like she's got a crazy portfolio. Um, Mike Coots, yeah, Mike Coots has got mad white sharks. White sharks is what comes to mind when I think of Mike Coots. He's got crazy shots of white sharks. Like, those are like the dream shots. That's a species, one of the top 5 species that I've ever wanted to encounter. And it's on my list. I still haven't met a white shark in the wild yet, so I'm hoping to be able to get in the water with them. But Mike Coots has got crazy shots of those guys. What are my future photography goals? That is a really good question. So many. There's so much more that I want to learn and so much more that I want to do. So one of the things that I'm actually doing out here is testing out macro photography. So macro photography is something that I'm very inexperienced with. I've never really done it properly. I've never had the gear to go off and do it, but it's something that I've always been fascinated by, especially underwater as well. I've seen like you said, in Indonesia you can get crazy macro shots. I have a friend that actually has a dive center in Nusa Penida, and he's probably the best macro photographer that I've ever seen, ever come across. Check him out as well. His name is David Fernandez. His Instagram is UW something. I can't remember. David Fernandez, but definitely go and check him out. He is like the best macro photographer for underwater that I've seen. He's got crazy shots in Indo. So what I'm doing out here, I actually got given a macro port for my sea frogs, and I bought a 90mm macro lens secondhand. So I'm going to go out and try that in the next couple of weeks here whilst diving, but also when we go looking for the seahorses as well. So that is one thing I want to get more into, macro photography. I know it's difficult, and I could definitely find myself getting addicted to it as well. It's really annoying because when you're doing macro photography, you obviously can't do megafauna as well. So if I'm doing macro and a whale comes past, I'll be screwed. But that is something that is on the list. I really want to do more macro photography. Um, I want to get into some FPV drone stuff as well, a little bit rogue, but I think that's really cool. I just need to go and grab an FPV drone and do a lot of training with it. But that is something that I want to get into more in the future as well. Um, and more camera traps as well. That's something that's been on my mind for a little while now, is doing more camera trap photography. It's obviously not to do with the ocean, it's more for land animals, but in places like this, but also in other places in Africa. And I want to go back to Sri Lanka later this year and next year as well. I want to try and take a camera trap with me and get some cool camera trap photos of animals by the watering hole, things like that. So those three are kind of what popped to mind right now. Three very different things, but like I say, photography is such a wide field. There's so much to do, and those are three of the things that over the next year I really want to do more of. That's a really good question. Thank you for that. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining in the live. We've got a few more minutes left of this while the sun is still up. So let me know where you're watching in from. And if you've got any last minute questions, let me know here in the comments as well. Make sure to drop the live a like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. I guess I'll meet you somehow. Plan in Sri Lanka. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. What are you going to do? Where are you going to be in Mozambique? Are you going to be diving there? Working. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Are you watching in from Paris right now? Nice to meet you. Thank you for watching the live. Yeah, definitely. Mozambique, if you're coming here. I am currently in a place called Ginjasa. Some really good diving down here. It's less known than Tofu, which is about 45 minutes to an hour up the road. But we kind of coincide in terms of the dive sites. But this time of the year, lots of whales around here. Humpbacks. This is currently humpback season, so lots of mums and babies out there. You are watching in from Paris. Well, thank you for joining in the live. I think you're on the same time zone as us. Sri Lanka is all planned. Mozambique. Okay, nice. Well, what month are you thinking? What kind of time of year are you thinking about coming? I would definitely recommend, if you want to have a chance of seeing whales, come between kind of June to September. Definitely August and September are kind of guaranteed. July, a very strong chance, and June is when they're still kind of rolling in. So if you're coming to this part of Mozambique and you're looking for whales, definitely come during what we would consider our summertime. September next year. Yeah, I think you'll definitely be around for the whale season, at least the end of it as well. Generally, I've had some pretty good encounters during the start to middle part of September as well. So you should be in luck there. Some pretty decent diving around here. What are you going to be doing in Sri Lanka, and where are you going to go in Sri Lanka? Too many whales back here. Yeah, for sure. I think there's a chance I'll be here in September next year. August for sure, I'll be here in Mozambique. Maybe the start of September, I'll be here visiting all of the island. How long? I got 3 months there. Taking a year off for Scuba World Tour. Is Scuba World Tour like a set thing, or is that just you doing a world tour while scuba diving? And how long are you going to spend in Sri Lanka? It is, well, it's where my parents are from. I used to go there a lot when I was younger. One of my favorite places in the entire world. And if you're going to be there for a long time, you'll have the best time. So much to do in the water, but also on land. Yeah, fingers crossed I get some good macro stuff. I need to really sort out buoyancy for that, I think. But there's actually a dive site here that we call Eel Alley, and it's just full of moray eels. But specifically what I go looking there for is dragon eels, which I've never seen anywhere else in the world. I know they exist in parts of the Pacific and stuff like that, but this is the only place in the Indian Ocean where I've seen dragon eels, and there's so many on that site. So I'm trying, fingers crossed, to hopefully get some really cool macro shots of these dragon eels and their like gnarly teeth and their patterns. Yeah, I'm completely self-taught in all things photography as well. So the best way is just to do it yourself, and you learn by making mistakes. So don't worry about making mistakes. Everyone does it. It's just trial and error. What's the biggest mistake I made when I was starting out? That is a good question. In underwater photography specifically, I would say maybe if you're working in a dive shop, this probably isn't going to apply to you, but not being like great in the water. I say this to everyone now: before you get in the water with a camera, be good, be a good diver, be a good free diver beforehand. So I did when I started underwater photography, I was mainly free diving while I was doing research with whale sharks. But when I was doing scuba diving with things, I wasn't the best diver at that point. I hadn't dived for a long time. Um, and I would say, in terms of advice, this isn't necessarily like mistakes that I made, but I would say practice editing, whether it be videos, whether it be images. Get good at the post. Practice your editing, practice color grading. That really comes with trial and error and finding your own style, finding your own workflow. I would definitely spend a lot of time doing that, and then literally just do like what I did, just learn everything on YouTube. That's one of the reasons I try and make so many tutorials on my YouTube account, is because I was also just self-taught, and I've studied everything from YouTube and from like blogs and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make a complete place where people can come and find, this is where I do this is where I do that. And I also teach it on my Patreon account as well. So we have like monthly lessons and stuff like that over there where you can ask questions. And I would just say get out and do it, especially if you're working at a dive shop and you're kind of in the field. That's the best, because you have almost unlimited time in the water to create content. Um, but next year I'll travel in Asia. I'm pretty sure I will not go back to. Yeah, once you start diving and traveling the world, it's difficult to go back to corporate life, right? Um, yeah, I would definitely say if you're diving in Africa and Asia, you're gonna have a great time. Definitely check out the Maldives if you have time for it. It is one of the best places. I would say arguably the best place that I've been for all around diving, just because you get a good mix of this macro, this megafauna, visibility is really good, and water temperature is really good as well. Done the Maldives already. Where have you been in the Maldives? There's so much in the Maldives. There's so many different islands, and there's more and more kind of hotspots being found around the Maldives for different things. Um, where else have I been? Indo was really good. I didn't dive there that much, but it was pretty good. Marsa. Oh, okay. In Marsa Alam, is that where they have the I can't remember if it's dugongs or I think it's manatees, right? Dugongs or manatees. Did you get to dive with them? Hopefully, can go back south. Oh, so you've dived in Formula, have you? And Central. Yeah, Central Maldives is like the standard route. Really good dive sites in the center of the Maldives. Um, Andaman Islands, yep, yep. Andaman Islands is on the list as well. I've seen some really cool photographers come out of there. Some really nice shots there. Hey Jan, how's it going? What's my dream subject to capture? Yeah, this is a really difficult question actually. Um, Dream subject. God damn. White sharks. White sharks are definitely up there. I want to free dive with white sharks at one point and video them, photograph them. Um, and orcas. I photographed orcas, but not from the water yet. That is definitely on the list as well. Those two are definitely. I'd probably say like dream shots would be orcas and white sharks for underwater stuff. Obviously, there's a million and one things, but right now I'm going to say orcas and white sharks. Um, I only saw dugong from the boat. It still counts though. At least you saw it, and it gives you an excuse to have to go back there and photograph them in the water. Nudie maybe. Russia is looking fun. Yeah, actually, there's a tour that I was looking at that goes through Svalbard and stuff like that, and you can get in with the belugas up there. That is definitely high on my list. The water visibility looks a bit greenish. It's kind of not that pristine, but being in the water and getting shots of belugas would be well worth, even if it is a little bit chilly up there. Yeah, white sharks. Honestly, I know you've done the tigers in Maldives, Jan. Like white sharks would be epic. I'm really like it's gutting that Guadalupe in Mexico has been shut off for diving. It's a really bad move by the government there, but that would have been a dream spot. But I've seen some really cool spots pop up in like southern Australia where there's a guy there that you can. It is in the cage, unfortunately. It's still better than nothing, but they put the cage on the sea floor and it's kind of like seagrass around, so the white sharks act all natural around you. That looks incredible. You can get some crazy shots of them in pretty clear visibility with seagrass all around. So that is on my list. And then the other day I opened up TikTok and there's people in Nova Scotia, Canada, cage diving with white sharks, which I didn't even realize they got them up there. But that also looks incredibly cold, but a really cool, different spot to go to and check out. Nudies. Orca scuba in Russia. Didn't even know there was orca scuba in Russia. That's crazy. Yeah, orcas in Baja. That's I'm running a trip in Baja again next year for sharks, but I'm hoping we see some orcas because that is one of my favorite places in the world, and seeing orcas there is like pristine because the water's a little bit chilly, but it's not that cold, and you can get them in pristine blue water, even if it is a little bit colder. So that's the dream. And also in Baja, a lot of the time we see them predating on other animals, so you can see them with mola molas or turtles in their mouths as well. So that is the fingers crossed goal for my trip next year that I'm running in Baja. What's the name of the seagrass tour in Southern Oz? It's called so Rodney Fox is the name of the guy. I think they call it like Rodney Fox Tours or something like that. He was bitten by a white shark when he was younger, and then he's kind of dedicated his whole life to preserving them and showing people them in the water, which is a really cool story. So check out Rodney Fox. If you type in Rodney Fox, I'm sure it will come up. But yeah, they do these cool. It's not like baited white shark cage dives at the surface. It's on the ocean floor, which is like super unique. I've never seen anything like that. What is my favorite and what's the challenges? I don't know if I could say a favorite. Wildlife is wildlife. As long as I'm photographing wildlife, I'm happy. But I would definitely say underwater is so much more difficult. There's so much that goes into it. It's not to say that terrestrial photography isn't difficult, especially with wildlife. Like wildlife is for the most part unpredictable. But when you're underwater, you've got to take in so much more into consideration. Like whether you're free diving or you're scuba diving, you've got to take in your breathing or the oxygen or the air that you've got. All of that comes into consideration. One, you've got to be a good diver or free diver. Two, then you've got to concentrate on the actual camera aspects of it. So lighting can change like that. A cloud goes overhead and the lighting's completely changed. You have to change it in the settings. The wildlife as well. Then you have to understand wildlife behavior, all of that. So underwater photography definitely more difficult, more of a challenge, but very rewarding as well. And I feel like compared to maybe not a lot, some terrestrial wildlife, like for example, if you go on a safari, if you're just doing standard safari photography, you're just sitting in a van the entire day. There's not a lot physically that's going on with it. Yes, you got to get creative with the shots and all that kind of thing, but most people that want to go and do safari photography, it's pretty straightforward. Whereas when we're doing stuff out here, it's physically quite exerting as well as mentally, because you're thinking about all the other aspects of it as well. So I definitely think for the most part, underwater photography is more challenging, but it's also super rewarding as well because we get to show off things that a lot of people can't go and see. Um, Kind of money aside, a lot of people can go and do very different topside shoots, whereas underwater, only a fraction of the world is ever going to get underwater and see what we're able to see. So I think it's really rewarding being able to share that with people. Um, we'll do it in. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, if I would definitely be, if Russia gets a little bit easier to travel to some point, I'd definitely be up there. There's a lot actually of wildlife in Russia. The Siberian tigers up there, loads of things up there that I want to go and shoot as well. So hopefully when things settle down, we'll be able to go and do that. How do you manage to get the sand out of a shot? That's also my main mistake. Not to manage to stabilize and then bam, photos ruined by one sand grain. I assume you're talking about underwater, kind of like the backscatter and stuff like that. Are you shooting it with lights? Because like lighting makes a difference. But honestly, sometimes you just got to Photoshop or spot remove all the grains from it. There are times where here sometimes the visibility isn't always the best, and so you have to go in and take out all the spots. It's really personal preference how much you want to do. I'm quite OCD, so I end up taking out everything, spend about 45 minutes to an hour taking out all the specs from one shot. But there's only so much you can do about those kinds of things. It's again the difference between topside and underwater. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing generally on topside stuff, but visibility, sediment, that kind of thing is quite a big issue underwater, depending on site and stuff like that. So I would go in and like take out all the things. Honestly, I zoom in, zoom in almost to the pixel, and I take them out, and then I zoom back out, and I see like I've only done like 1/4 of the picture and I haven't done all the rest. So it can take me hours and hours. It is a lot of patience and it drives me insane. And by the end of it, you're kind of squinting at the screen. But again, it's personal preference. When you're shooting underwater, do you prefer to do it on scuba or as a freediver? That is a really good question. I think the ideal scenario would be that I had a rebreather because I like doing wildlife on freedive because wildlife just reacts more naturally to you. They come in closer, they're more inquisitive because generally speaking, a lot of wildlife doesn't like the bubbles from scuba. But you can obviously be down there for longer and try and get different interactions when you're on scuba. So the ideal mix would be to be on a rebreather. You're there for as long as you want, but you're not producing these bubbles that are scaring away the animals. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably say freediving. As much as I like scuba diving, there's just something about freediving. I just find it easier to control buoyancy, have these interactions with animals and things like that. It's just so much fun. And generally, if you're freediving, I'm not going past 15 meters typically freediving, in which case there's enough light that I don't need additional lights and stuff like that. So you can just jump in with a GoPro or with your camera in a house and you don't have to worry about all these extra things. Yeah, lose the patience. Honestly, I wouldn't blame you. Sometimes I just scrap it all and I start from the beginning again. But it's kind of a labor of love, I guess, when you want that quote unquote perfect image. There's no such thing as a perfect image, but I do sometimes sit there for hours taking out little specks. Recently, I bought Backscatter Terminator for around 120. It's a game. What's a Backscatter Terminator? Is that something you add to like your lights or something like that? Because that does, I mean, it says backscatter Terminator, so I'm assuming it gets rid of backscatter, but that's crazy. How does that work? What does that do? Thank you for tuning in, Laura. Really nice to have you in the live. Stay tuned for more. Make sure you sub to the channel. I'm going to try and get out and do some more paddleboarding with the whales in the next couple of days. And I'm also going to try and do a live on the weekend where I'm going to try and take some photographs with monkeys and stuff like that. So thank you for tuning in from Paris. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go for a little bit longer. Sweet, see you there. Thank you. We'll go for a little bit longer. The sun is about to cross the horizon. We're losing the sunlight there. That's where we're staying. Jan, this is where you'll be in about 2 weeks or something like that. And then the ocean is right there. Was droning the whales today. Got some really cool encounters. Yeah, be psyched to have you out here soon. I think we're going to overlap by a few days, so that'll be cool. We can go and see some stuff, maybe get a dive or two in as well. Or if the weather is good, go paddleboarding with the whales. They're still being a little bit shy, although actually on the first day that I was out here, we went paddleboarding with the whales and a whale went right under Chess's board. Like, we didn't have the camera attached to the bottom, but we'd got a crazy shot. So they are here. It's all about time on the water, really. Plug in for Photoshop. Oh, damn. Okay, I am going to have to look into that. It's called Backscatter Cross Terminator. Okay, thank you, Courtney. I'm definitely going to look into that because that does sound mad. I found like a similar thing for videos on DaVinci, but to have that for images, it would be a game changer. So I appreciate you putting that in there. I'm actually going to go check that out after this. Especially here, sometimes if I don't get the lighting right, there's a lot of sediment that comes into these that comes into these images, and it's a pain in the ass to get rid of them. So that if that can kind of like do it using AI or whatever it is, that'd be sick. Yeah, Jan, it was mad. We had another. We on the second day we had a kind of close-ish interaction with a mum and a baby at the start with the paddle boards, and then since then it's been a little bit too windy to go out. But I'm hoping in the next couple of days we can get back out there. I'm trying to do some cool content with the Insta360 and stuff like that, and also droning people whilst they're out there as well. And fingers crossed we can find some more southern right whales as well. That would be freaking epic. I found a mum and a baby last year, and then the guys found one a couple of weeks ago. So the populations are definitely getting better, and they're coming further north to Mozambique as well, which is really good to see. So fingers crossed. And then I've also been doing daily surveys looking for whale sharks and oceanic mantas as well. So there's a chance that we could find them as well. Yeah, it'll be freaking cool. There's some cool dive sites around here. A couple of guys went to the mangroves today to try and find the seahorses. And so hopefully we're going to do that on my program. I'm not sure if it's in your program, but the seahorses is like a really cool one if you can do that on a good day. Any mantas so far? No, I haven't spotted any mantas so far. There's a Spanish group here diving, so I'm going to check with them because they went to the site called Manta, which is a manta cleaning station. So I'm going to check with them if they've seen mantas up there. But yeah, like I'm doing daily surveys, at least 3 batteries, looking for things at the surface, not just whales. So fingers crossed. I once found an oceanic on the drone here a couple years ago, and I managed to get like a couple seconds of footage before my camera started losing connection. But we're kind of more middle in the bay here, so I can go both ways. And like yesterday, I sent it 6 kilometers one way and 5 kilometers the other way, looking for things. So we're going to do daily surveys, searching for this kind of stuff. I also did a live yesterday where I tried to show the controller whilst I was doing a YouTube live. It doesn't work the best, but I might do those again, especially if I find whales or some kind of cool behavior. I might just do a live where I hold the controller in front of the camera and you guys can watch it real time maybe. See how it works. Hopefully it doesn't flicker too much on the screen. But probably do a couple more minutes of this live. So if anyone's got any last minute questions, drop them in the chat. If not, we're going to go for a little bit longer. Sweet, thank you. Yeah, drop that notification on YouTube, and then anytime I go live, it'll pop up. And also, if we go and do an ocean safari in the next in the next week or so, I'll probably try and do a live from the ocean safari where we're looking for whales and other stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, you're going to experience it all for yourself in a couple of weeks' time, which is going to be freaking epic as well. A little bit quiet out there. Okay. I think we're going to call it there. We're coming up to an hour. Thank you for joining me on this live. I'm still getting used to it, so hopefully it was useful. Hopefully you got some good information out of it, and you saw a little bit of what Mozambique is like. I'm going to try and do these more. Thank you, Courtney, for joining us. I know it's going to be pretty late out there in Indo as well, but hopefully got some good info out of this. Let me know. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram or jump in on the next live as well. And thank you for that recommendation of the backscatter Terminator. I'm definitely going to check that out. Jan, thank you for tuning in. And everyone else, thank you for watching in from wherever you were in the world. Join me for the next one. I'm going to do it here with this beautiful background again sometime soon in the next few days as well. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later.